Hello world, and hello friends, welcome back to another AFK platform. Just kidding, this is yet another Minecraft episode in my Let's Play world, and I have created a guardian farm. So I've been up here for maybe hour and a half to 1 hour to 2 hours. Something like that. And yes, this is another Shulkercraft farm. It's pretty simple. Not a high efficiency one, but pretty good efficiency. And actually one that makes sense to me, unlike the Shulker farm. But besides that, let's see what I've got. Got a pretty good amount, pretty good amount. I have a lot of ink sacks, but yeah. Pretty good amount of loot. So let's bring some of this home. Everyone, meet Penny. Penny likes to fish, and she has been complaining to me that I don't have enough fish for her. Now, I could tell her that I have the Guardian farm to get me a lot of fish. Please don't tell her that. I am going to build a fishing hut here. And coincidentally, I honestly don't think I did this on purpose. These paths frame out one chunk perfectly. Now, as a reminder, my goal originally was to put every single building I make inside a chunk. And I've since realized that's kind of silly. That's kind of hard to do. So I'm kind of going away from that. But whenever I have a chance to do it, I will. So I have pretty much gathered, I think, all the supplies I'm going to need. I have prismarine in case I need more, all the prismarine I do have, some oak, some spruce, some dark oak, and then some extra stuff. Warped stem, ability to make more, some light sources, and some barrels. I do not have a plan going into this. I have seen a lot of pictures, and I've been brainstorming. But overall, what's going to be here? I have no idea. That being said, I have forgot some supplies. I'm going to need some mud. Also, this video I think is going to be a little bit different of a style than normal. I think I'm just going to build and talk through, or just build and record. I really don't have too much time this week, and I really want to see how this feels. So let's get to it. As a start, I do want to see where exactly this pier might end up at. I at least need to continue this path, going 5 at a time, I believe. So that would be 5. Actually, I'm going to have it jump down there for the 5th one, and then another. But then, yeah, starting here, I can just go straight out as a pier. But does that make sense? I guess that would make sense. That could work. I think it needs to go out a little bit further. Yeah, let's start with that. Then gotta get the hut right in there. I guess I did also need some jungle wood just to help with this transition. This, of course, though, is just a rough transition. I'm just trying to visualize how it's going to look, and then I will come back in and blend this in just a little bit. So far, I'm liking that. I think I'll need to see what I do with the building for how I might change this section. But let's decorate the pier a little bit, but then keep going. And I'm going to do the classic technique of dark oak underwater, oak above water, because that just adds to the fact that, hey, water is wet. Yeah, I think that's a good start for right now. I'll come back to that later. Alright, let's try to get a general shape of this. I think if the walkway is coming to here, I should probably have maybe something like this. Maybe it'll be lined up against there. Could a building be straight against the pathway work? I think so. I think it could. So let's keep going. If that's those two corners, say one corner, maybe there. And that would mean this one would be right on my torch. Oh, right on the torch. Is that the size of a building that could work? What do you think, Penny? Any thoughts? No thoughts. If I was to be in this space, do I think this is enough space? And I don't think so. I think I'll need to move these guys back just a little bit. Yeah, I think that could be a little bit better of a size. Now, it doesn't make much sense that that much of the beach is taken up. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Does it make sense that a fisherman's hut wouldn't be directly on the water? And I think that's fine too. I think I can make this like a patio deck or something be on this side, and then just give them access to the pier there. Now then the question is this a fishing pier or is this a boat pier? And that might need a little bit more research. Alright, let's take a look at how this is. I don't know why, I just feel like here I gotta step up, and that feels like where a door should be. Let's place a door there. Yeah, I would step up, the door would be there. I'd enter into this area. And part of me is wondering, do I actually make this be like a tiered interior? That's a tongue twister. But have it actually step down inside. But other than that, I think I'm liking how that is. And maybe I want to see... Yeah, I think next I want to see how I would get that to walk down to here. So let's do that next. Okay, I think I like that. It would just be a little boop, boom. Then another door entering in. I think I actually sloped that pretty well. I'm I'm happy with that one. Now this down here, not as confident with. I might change that up. You know, it's only now that I realize just actually how big this building's gonna be. And I think that's good. One thing that's good about doing this slowly is that I do get to see that. And I also get to see that it's already going to be pretty flat if I do keep going up like this. Let me take a look from the other side real quick. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, that it's going to be pretty flat. Like adding that's nice, but I need to keep doing something to get it textured. But I think first let's shift this back a little bit. Yeah, that prototyping is looking a little bit better. Now what to do for this? I think I might need to look at some more of what other people have done. Get some inspiration. I will say, comparison is the thief of joy. I've seen a lot of really, really good Fisher huts done by people who are actually builders. And I would not classify myself as a builder. I'm learning. I do build things. But I'm no artist. Like, come on, take the barn behind me. Those guys, those textures are flat. There's no detail for those. And I'm okay with that. Which is not builder material. Same with that. It's flat. I built it and I posted it. And I'm okay with that. Like, people who are good at this don't do that. And I do plan to go back and add a little bit more texture to those guys, add some texture to that guy, and I still have it in mind to do it with my town hall, but I just haven't done that yet. And also, yeah, that Mason house as well. Those walls need some work. So does the floor. But that's for later. I'll be back in a second to continue the Fisher hut. Well, this jumps a little bit further than I expected. I really wanted to try to incorporate some of the blue green? Not sure what color it is. Whatever the color of that is, I wanted to start incorporating that just a little bit more. And also the bottom didn't feel right, so I brought the prismarine in. But even before that, I decided to actually switch to oak for the walls. I think that works a little bit better. Probably will keep the spruce for the floor and getting an idea of where the ceiling is going to be. One great thing that I really like about Minecraft and what I am trying to take advantage of for this project is the ability to do and redo. So I built the walls out of spruce. Didn't like it. Well, I didn't build the walls. I got them as high as they are currently. And then I realized, you know what? Let's try a different color. Let's try to add some variance. And now I'm trying oak. And same thing for the windows here. I started them being 2x2s, and then I made them 2x3s, and then now I've made them 1x3s. And same thing for these windows and windowsills. I've had a lot of variations of these. And that's one thing I love about this game is that I am free to do that. And I can make all these changes. So bear with me because I'm sure a lot of this is not in its final state. So I'm just going to keep working on it. Good stretch in the back there, Penny. Okay, this still needs some work. I'll be first to say that. And yeah, I'm needing to grow more. I think I really need to hope that all of this comes together with the roof on top, which I think is a big ask, but I think I'm still going to go through with it, see what happens. So I think I just gotta keep going. I'm least confident about these windowsills. Hang on. Yeah, that works better. I gotta hope that the roof does good. Other than that, I still need to figure out what I'm doing inside here. I think I've had thoughts of getting like countertops to like buy a fishing rod or to like pick up a fishing rod, store fishing rods, store fish. But with the current window arrangement, doesn't really work that way. Like I said, making this up as I go, building as it happens. So I think I'm gonna put a roof on this thing, and then I'll figure out the interior. If I even do that. I mean, you remember the Mason house. I'm gonna try to not do that, though. I'm gonna try to get an interior done here. Trying to get this house completed by the end of this episode. That's my goal. Hopefully I can do it. Well, this is a little bit of a time jump. I've been busy. Yeah, I could have checked in a while ago, but I was really wanting to get this roof figured out, and then once I got the roof figured out, I wanted to figure out where that floor slash ceiling was going to go for the upper room. Now, one thing that has bugged me is I unintentionally lined up the entrance to this with the entrance to that. So the fisherman's hut and the mud hut are directly in line. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. So things may change. What I was hoping to do as I was building this was to create a roof with the warped and the dark prismarine, because that's usually the roof that I see on these types of buildings. But I also kind of wanted to add some copper, because dark prismarine takes a while to get, and I don't have a source of black dye reliably yet. I might make one eventually. So that led me to thinking, well, could I do dark prismarine with some warped and then copper as an accent? And I didn't really feel too confident with that because once again, I would still need a lot of dark prismarine. So then I went to the rest of the prismarine blocks. I was also trying to figure out a way to incorporate this color changing one into the build. So I figured with these three. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad. Though now, staring at this for a second, hang on, would that order have worked better? Let me know in the comments. Does this look bad, or does it look good? I can always switch stuff around. Regardless though, I'm pretty happy with how this looks. All around this is looking pretty good. It's got the pop of color I was hoping for. I think right there I'm going to put a little bit of flowers, because like I said, originally that was going to be a window, but I ended up putting a ladder there. And yeah, I'm going to let these copper trapdoors oxidize, because there's no easy way to do that. But up here, there is a balcony that will oversee the pier and the river, and I hope to improve this view as time goes on to make that whole area quite a bit better. And also fix that. I need to detail that sooner rather than later, but house first. And speaking of house, I'm gonna put a bedroom in here. This will be a room that someone could potentially live in. And I do mean someone and not just a villager. Because honestly, this building is starting to feel more and more like a starter house. I mean, like, besides the prismarine, these are some pretty easy blocks to acquire. And here we are, a miniature room. It's a dimly lit room. Not exactly sure why, but the blue theme fits. And I think this is a pretty cozy little area. Got a little bit of storage everywhere, got some food cooking, got some crafting and ender chest, because I have plenty of those. And yeah, more storage, some paintings, some flower pots. Oh, that does close and open. I wasn't sure about that. And then over here, I just added a little bit more light to keep everything lit here, but nothing too much to change here. Might add more later. Right now I'm calling this done. Down below, I still gotta figure this room out, which I'm still working on. It's taking a bit of brain power though. Out back though, I've added a little bit of a flower. I've added some lights, some support pillars, just to keep that patio up, which, I don't know, I might change it. Not the biggest fan of that, but also blended that together. And right now, I'm pretty happy with it. I still need to figure out the bottom. Flying around and coming at a distance, it does stand out. And that's something that I don't know exactly how I feel about it. Probably it's one of the things where I'll need to add some more either trees, plants, buildings to make it not seem too much of a standout. Like at least the bricks and the granite there connect to each other. The two barn roofs connect with that. But overall, I'm liking the shape of it, even though I feel like things might change over time. And like I said, change over time is what I'm okay with. And just as long as I keep going, keep building things, I'm going to be having fun, and I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to sit down, try to think just a little bit more as to what I'm going to do for that bottom level. I've got to make it something fishing related, because it's not like the top floor is anything fishing related. So I'm going to try to think, I'm going to try to theorize, and you'll see how much time has passed based off of those oxidized trapdoors behind me. Alright, I have just finished packing up all of the supplies, and I am realizing I need to figure out my copper situation just a little bit. I am actually running out of copper a lot, probably because I used most of it for the roof. And yeah, I think I need to empty out the trial chamber for more of those in that state, because that's the state that I like. Regardless, behind these doors, which I think I like the windows, might change those, I will say. I did kind of unintentionally create a shadow effect where these are darker because they're in the shadow, and that's even darker because they're in the shadow. It's like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. Anyway, through these doors is an interior that needs to oxidize. I'm pretty happy with this. I think there's more that I could add. Some of the walls seem pretty blank, but in terms of space, I've used the space pretty well. And I do have a little bit of a fish tank, which if I really want to get a better view, I can just open up the trapdoor for. I did have a puffer fish in here at one point, but it kept poisoning me, even when I was a little ways away. So, didn't want that hazard in here. But yeah, fish tank, fisherman with some of the loot that you can get, and just a basic fishing rod. Penny has her own cat tree. I think I did a good job with that. You'd have to tell me, how did I do? How do you like it? And I think I've trapped this villager in here. I think the walls were enough, but what's interesting is that I can hop on here, so I'm not sure if he can. But just in case, I did put a berry bush underneath that carpet, just to prevent him, I think, from getting out. But yeah, I did max out his trades, which didn't bother converting him because yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think I'm gonna use him too much. But yeah, that's Odie. Penny's over there. If you know, you know. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Once again, stuff still needs to oxidize, and those need to oxidize as well. I don't think I've changed anything up here. But I think overall, I'm going to call this a success. And surprisingly, I actually did do this all in one day, which I'm pretty impressed with. I think that means I gotta take care of the lighthouse some. And before I forget to update this, like I always seem to do, let's give it an update. There we are. I'm... I don't know what I expected, but I mean, that is that is what the roof is. That is very much what the roof is. And let's check this one. Tiny little fisher's hut. Over on this one, even tinier little fisher's hut. And then on this one, it's probably not going to show up. Oh, look at that. It does show up. So I'm still considering if I want to... Oh, that looks like a face. Oh, goodness. I could not escape making a face. I guess I am a builder. I made a face. I still am debating if I want to do something with the mud hut to make these not be lined up with each other. Honestly, I might just rotate this 90 degrees so that the entrance it will be right on this wall, which will mean I will have to completely move all of the redstone in here, which is going to be a slight pain, but honestly, might be worth it in the long run. And I do think that was the correct opinion. Having this rotated 90 degrees really does help out a lot. It makes the walkway look a little bit smoother all the way down to Penny's house. And guess what? I've done some other work. I have made some palm trees. And I do think in general that has made this look even more standing out, to be honest. Having the trees here makes it seem like I need to have trees everywhere, which, I mean, is the plan, but in general, I do think that actually does make this beach seem a lot more lifelike. This is, once again, say it with me, first time I've done this. And I think I did a pretty good job. Maybe not all trees are made equal, but I like them. I think I did a good job. The other thing I've been up to is actually fixing the lighthouse and some of the other area around it. I've added some windowsills and started trying to make this actually look like a marsh area, even with reeds. Now, I will say all this area around me is going to be a work in progress. I think I've went through a few iterations of this, and that caused me to work on this for a few days, which really was not something I wanted to do, so I'm kind of wrapping this up the day before I post this, the night before I post this, in fact. So let's hope nothing goes wrong. Which, knock on wood for that. So yeah, looking at this just with FreeCam, I did also add the mossy cobblestone, kind of starting the blend of the textures in. I think there's going to be more work on that. And this pile of reeds was originally surrounded by moss, just so I could have an idea. But I might move those because I found that actually using the swamp water with the moss looks a lot better than having it in such a vibrant blue as this river is. And even over here, you can see it's unfinished, and I think I just have to be happy with that. I will be slowly chipping away at this, hopefully, over time, and slowly converting more of this into mud. I'll probably still put a pier over here. Oh, and yeah, I do have a laze that I collected at one point. So, yeah. Now I have those to do something with. And I think the other thing that I will need to do is actually deepen the river just a little bit, exiting out this way. I kind of just gave up on lowering it more because the swamp was at that level. So I just raised it up and, oh well, there's also a lot of dirt here. But yeah, a lot of work to be done. I still have a lot of work to do in this area. I have a feeling I might do a few finishing touches with the lighthouse. Granted, I have also made a tiny interior, and by tiny interior, I mean this is just a spiral staircase that goes all the way down to the bottom. And then at the bottom, I have trapdoors to help me get out of here if I ever get in there for one reason or another. All the swamp area as well, this marsh area, this river delta, whatever you want to call it, will also be improved over time, I think. I will probably keep this as a project in the background, as something I slowly improve as time goes on. All that being said, I have mixed feelings about this house. I am happy to have it done. But I feel like there's more I can do on the roof. I feel like there's more I could do. I'm not the most happy with the shape. Kind of looks like a fishtail, but also it looks weird. So I might change that eventually. But overall, I'm happy where this is at for right now. And I'm very happy you joined me here, and I know Penny is happy too. These guys are going to have a wonderful place to live, and hopefully they will stay safe. I will make sure that hopefully that no zombie gets in there, no enemy mob gets in there, and they will have a wonderful life inside. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a like if you feel it deserved a like. Next time, you'll see a few more touches on here, such as actually putting mud right where I'm standing. Because I just now realized I didn't do that, but I don't have time for that. So, until next time, until next week, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and be good to the world. This has been Radio, signing off.